Alright, so before we jump directly into the mistake that I made, we're just going to have a little bit of filler footage here of a flight I had not too long ago. An above the clouds flight. It was pretty beautiful. So anyway, yeah, as you'll be able to see here in a minute, I decided to make a modification to a piece of my equipment, and it was a mistake. Obviously, anytime you make modifications to your equipment, there's an inherent risk there, and I thought this would be a good idea, but obviously there was aspects of it that I didn't really think through super well. Now there is a way that I can make this work. Like, I know what I could have done to make it better, but I think I've kind of just decided to nix the idea. So but yeah, obviously be careful out there, y'all. You never know. This could have gone much worse and something bad could have happened. So you'll be able to see what I did and where it kind of went wrong, and then I'll kind of discuss after that why I was doing it, my thought process, and what I could have done different that would have made it work, but whatever. And then the flight that all this occurred on was kind of one of those, like, I don't know, somewhat special flights that was just super buttery smooth, no wind, no thermals, evening flight, which we don't really get here, especially in the summer, very often. Yeah, it was just like a Goldilocks, just right kind of flight, you know. So I'm actually just gonna leave that entire video unedited and in its entirety, so it should be pretty cool. Alright, I'll get back with you in a minute.
Did that? Wow, is that much too long, huh?
All right, so what happened here? What mistake did I make? So one of my favorite features of the Dudek Nucleons, the Nucleon XX, Nucleon 4, is the fact that it's 2D tied in, but it also has a secondary tip steer that's located like kind of low, so you can just kind of be in like a driving position in order to activate those toggles. So I ended up trying to recreate that on this glider, and you can see what happened here. The first time I look over to the right, you can see that the magnet's still attached. And then the second time I look, you'll see it's detached and the toggle is pressed up against my my cage and my netting. So now, if I'm honest, I'm not really sure why the magnet came off in that particular instance. But obviously, you can see that I put a little ring further up on the risers as a guide, and that was to make sure that if the magnet came loose, you know, obviously it needs to be able to go through some kind of guide or be attached to something, otherwise I'd never get it back. It'd just be flying behind the wing. But yeah, you can see how much slack there is in that toggle, and later on in the video I'm actually going to trim out, and you'll see all that slack goes away, and they're actually too short, and it pulls the toggle off the magnet when I trim out. So there's just too much of a geometry change with this wing in order for me to do it like that. So my two fatal mistakes here with this particular project were the fact that, one, the magnet that I was trying to use for these toggles was below the trimmer buckles. So whenever you trim out, whatever's below that trimmer buckle is obviously not going up with it. Whatever's above it is. So because of the fact that I wanted those toggles low, I put it on the lowest magnet, which is below the trimmer buckle. And so that means that those toggles are getting pulled as you're trimming out. So that's one problem. The second problem is that my guide ring there is so far away from where the toggle attaches that it allows too much slack. Whenever if the magnet came off like it did in this case, or if you just let it go, which I really don't recommend. For some reason, I know quite a few people that do that, and it's not a great idea. There's magnets there for a reason. But, so yeah, that guide needs to be closer to the resting point of the toggle. Otherwise, it allows too much slack and it lets it go back and hit the netting. So I would have been able to fix this by attaching the toggle above the trimmer. But the problem with that is when you trim out, it goes up, and it really wouldn't be nearly as low as I'd want it to be for this to work the way I wanted it to, and that's why I just kind of nixed the whole thing in the end.
So, need to be way tight. Alright. Good. There's too much of a geometry change. Yeah. Alright, dedicated tip steer toggles will not work on this one. I know. It's alright. Ooh. Carl's fucking up his launch. Ooh. He's headed straight for my truck. Alright, he fixed it. That was fucked. Yeah, really. This is like a hazard at this point to have these on here. She only ever flies in like straight up no wind conditions, so this is right up her alley. I very rarely fly in no wind conditions, but I'm disappointed that the dedicated tip steer toggles aren't going to work, but also I got one behind the brake line, one in front of the brake line, so that's kind of wonky. Mess that up. Sure does sweet wingovers though. Man, over here it feels like the wind's coming out of the west. Well, I don't really fly this wing trimmed all the way in very much, so I don't know. This feels very slow though. See how this feels. Great. Carl's gonna dive bomb me. Saw that coming. And I'm too slow right now. I'm trimmed all the way in. Shoosh! I think it touched the bottom of my cage. Oh, that one did too. Well, bush is taller than they look until you get there. I will say though, it's been a while since I've been able to just fly super low like this. But yeah, unfortunately those tip steer toggles didn't work out. Pretty disappointed about that. It's one of the only downsides of this wing is it and those toggles go really high when you're trimmed out. So high I can almost barely reach them. And I can reach them, but it's not like super easy to, you know. Oh, look at that. 3, 4 little deer, 5 little deer. Hello, little deer. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to scare you. I was gonna swoop that tree line. I was gonna swoop down. Just don't want to do it. Those deer distracted me. Man, look at that. Never seen this gap before. It's amazing how like you can fly in an area for a really long time and never see some things. Woo. If I'm honest, I've never really had like a huge opportunity to fly this wing like low and slow. The weather just hasn't really wanted to participate lately. But he's participating today. I know there's a path through these woods somewhere. Yeah. Whilst it is slightly more difficult to launch in no wind, I must admit, the flying in no wind is quite significantly nicer. Just so buttery smooth. You can go where you want, do what you want. Man, I'm fully trimmed in, look, just pulling away. And I'm on brakes too right now, technically, like, that's off brakes. Yeah, as slow as I can fly. I don't think they plan on venturing anywhere. I guess I probably won't really venture anywhere either. Interesting. It's like a little spot. Oh, there's a cemetery. Oh, see? The things you don't see. Two little headstones. Things you don't see. Deer. Man, it smells like alfalfa. Smells like my childhood. Never really flown over here, especially low. Don't see any power lines. I don't know if there's a path around here or not. Looks like there is. Some kind of path. More deer. Oh yeah. Nice little channel in here. Then he'd kick the top of these trees coming out. That's fun. We're gonna make that run again. One more time. Paying more attention to my foot drag than where I'm going. That will not do me any favors. Shoot the gap. Yeah, this is my favorite kind of flying. Low, slow, just finding gaps, tree shoots. Yeah, buddy. Foot dragging. This is my jam. For sure. Ooh. Just took a grasshopper to the thigh. Hopefully. What's over here? Looks like more juicy stuff. More fun stuff. Come through here. Oh, big bird. Got a nice little spot to turn around in. Man, it's a pretty little area. So a path through there. I think those were thorny. Ooh, flying through my own wake. Oh yeah. Juicy. Juicy, juicy. So much juicy goodness. So I think Carl's landing. He's bored. Carl likes pretty much the opposite kind of flying I do. This is butter. I love it. Felt that hit my cage. Oh yeah. Love it. Too buddy. I think there is a path through here, kind of, but not really. There's a tight circle. You could maybe flip a bitch in there. I don't know. It'd be close. It would be close. Beautiful. Down. Ooh, beautiful sunset too. Wing overs. There's really no wind at all, so it doesn't matter which way I land. I'm gonna come in the same way she is, right up next to my truck. This wing does some sweet wing overs. All right. Sweet, sweet wing overs. I think we're good. I think we're pretty much perfect. Man, that might have been just a tickle of a tailwind, but I ran that bitch. Alright, that was a fun one.